Guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been so long once again. I was hit with COVID and I was in bed for 2 weeks. Then I went away on holiday for a week and then I got tonsillitis. So yeah, pretty rough gig. However, in that time after recovering from COVID, I did manage, believe it or not, to get a first coat down on the bay, which you can see here. It needs a second coat. As you can still see there's a little bit of light blue coming through from where the colour it was previously underneath. But the first coat went on really well. I was using a really small spray gun. However, this time I've got a much bigger, larger one that puts it on a lot thicker. So I'm going to give that one a go. It's just a Sealy gun, which was £20, so I'm not expecting a lot from it, but we'll see how we go. As I said, I'm really happy with how the first coat went on. I've just given it a wipe down because it's been a few weeks since the last time, and used some pre-wipe degreaser. So it should be ready to paint. The compressor's just loaded up, so I'm going to get all the paint bits mixed and ready to go, and I'll put you on time lapse and hopefully you'll see me laying down the second coat on the engine bay. Finally, we're painting. Take a look at this. Not much in the way of a time lapse because the battery died on the GoPro. My other batteries are in my Racing Puma, which is still in Malvern, so I've been charging it up while I finished. But anyway, second coat of paint done on the engine bay. Really happy how it's come up. I used a £20 spray gun in the end, which had a lot bigger nozzle on it, 2.2mm, so it just went down a lot thicker and heavier. And I've done 2 coats, some places 2.5 on the inside, and I am extremely happy with the finish. Looking really good. Still a bit wet at the moment. I'll take this off shortly to see what the blue looks like against the white. I think it's going to look really good. One thing that I've noticed, which is a little annoying, is not as annoying as trying to angle this GoPro, is the paper came off at the top there. Painted the top part of the bar white, which is a little bit frustrating, but never mind. I'll take the paper off, see what it looks like, and I may brush blue paint on it instead of spraying it, so I don't have to mask the whole car off. But yeah, super happy. The sun's been out all day. And the sun's out now as well, drying off the paint, so mega happy with how that's turned up. Did the rear as well, and I used some leftover paint just to go over these again. The colour match is brilliant, as you can see. So this was the Raptor tintable, you can see the Raptor line, and then the paint itself, so you can see that the match is perfect. Now I didn't really blend in at all, so it was literally just a line, and you can't see a difference at all, and that's in the direct sunlight, so that's brilliant. I also went over the sections here and the doors again. This will all be, so the main body of the car, once the wider arch has been put on, the main body, the roof, all the shuts, and down here will all be painted in a spray paint booth by a professional, because I want a perfect finish on those, and I'm not happy that I'll be able to achieve that on the driveway. So when I eventually get the panels prepped and ready for paint, the wings, the bumper, the bonnet, the rear bumper and the doors, then I'll get the chap who's doing it to paint the car and the panels at the same time, so there'll be no issue with paint colour. Not that you usually get an issue with white colour, but yeah, that's good. I'm now going to remove the paper on here to see what the contrast looks between the white and the blue. I think that should look really good. And then I've decided I'm going to try and attempt to put the rear beam on today and the wheels, so it means I can roll it around, and possibly the fuel tank. These are the arch liners that I painted as well, and a few bits here. So I'm going to roll this over in a minute, the rear beam and the fuel tank, get them into position, find the relevant bolts, the correct ones, and then fit the rear suspension as well, which means I can roll the rear of the car. After that, we'll see how we get on with time. Depending on how we get on with time, I will look to put on the front subframe as well, which of course will clear out some space in the garage, which is going to be pretty good. Other than that, I think that's all to note at the moment. So let's put it on time lapse and take off that brown paper on the cage and see what it looks like. So I don't know what it's looking like on camera, but I am over the moon with how that's come out. It looks brilliant, really good. There's a little spot of white on here, which I'll just brush, get some of the ultramarina blue paint and brush it on. Same on this section there, just where there's a little bit come through. And as I pointed out in the last clip, you can see the white section along there, which is a little annoying on there, but it's at the top, it's out of the way, and if I brush some paint on it and use a really fine brush, the finish will look great. So but yeah, look how good that looks against the white. I'm so happy with how it's come out, and I really feel now that I've painted the car, the interior, I can start putting stuff on it. So what I'm going to have a look at doing now, as I mentioned a minute ago, is I'm going to fit the wheels onto the rear beam and roll the rear beam over and try and fit that with the rear suspension, because it'd be great if by the end of this week I can actually get this rolling. And if it means if I can get it rolling, I can get this shell gone, put the car closer to the garage, and it's going to be a lot easier when working on it. So yeah, let's try that now. But yeah, over the moon with that. Let's get this rear beam on and the fuel tank and the front subframe. Okay, rear beam on without too much drama. I'm going to attach the rear suspension, the coilovers now. Just going to loosen off this bolt in here, and fit the coilovers in, fit the disc, and then fit the wheel, and then the back end of the car is rolling, which is absolute dream. And then I think what I'll do is fit the subframe to the front of the car as well. So anyway, let's crack on with the, oh dear me, tired, rear coilovers. So I've just gone to fit the rear coilovers, and the bolt that goes into the rear beam is this one, as you can see here. Are we recording? Yes we are. as you can see here, it won't fit. So, sorry for the lack of update. I've just been working away. I managed to get the subframe on. I need to find the correct bolts for the lower front arm. I've got loads of bolts in there to make sure I get the right ones. So tonight, when I'm on my computer, I'll have a look and measure up and make sure I've got the right ones. So the lower arm bolts are required. I've been trying to have a look at fitting the front coilovers. However, I was having a bit of an issue in the correct setup for the top. So I've just been investigating how to do that correctly. I have, however, managed to put the rear beam on and one of the rear coilovers. The problem I'm having though is that the size in here is too small, as I was shown in that last little clip. So either the wrong bolt's been used here, and that's why I had to die cut it out, which you'll see at the start of this video, rethread it. So I'm wondering if I've rethreaded it too big. However, after speaking to some of the Puma lads, they reckon there's 2 different bolts specified. So what I'll need to do is get the inner metal tube that's in there and just drill it out so it fits on there. So it's not the end of the world, but it's a shame because I'd like to have jacked this up and put the wheel on tonight, but it's not going to happen. So that's a bit of a shame, but I'm going to continue with fitting the other shock now on this side whilst I'm here. As you can see, that one's in. This is a bit grubby, so what I might do is, the spare one I've got is I might paint it and then refit that at some point, but for now that'll do. Let's get the other side fitted for the moment though. Another little update, figured out how the order of the shock goes. So the front one's finally on, sway bar link arm's on. I can't quite get the angle to push the hub up onto the bottom of it, so I'm going to have to undo the pinch bolt at the bottom just so I can maneuver it and get it into position. Then I can jack it up onto there and tighten that up. So I'm trying to do one thing one side and then repeat it on the other. So what I'm going to do now is build up the other front coilover and get it fitted on the other side, and then go from there. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. Ah, fucking hell. Oh. Oh. Sharpest thing in the world. Right, best day on the project yet. Can't believe how much I've managed to achieve. I'd like to continue, but I think it's about 8 o'clock now and I'm pretty knackered. I knew once I'd sprayed the interior, sorry, and the engine bay, it would start making good progress, and it really has. I'm so happy with how it's come out. I sprayed these panels and loosely put them in. This is the Super 1600 one, and the Super 1600 engine mounting point is different. So on this one I'm going to have to cut this slightly and fabricate it to fit in here. This one is loosely fit, so it just covers the arch well. Front subframe's in. I still need to figure out the exact bolts for the lower arms there. I'll measure those and get them in. I can't find the second one of these top mounts in order to fit the other front coilover, which is a bit annoying, but it's something I can do each night this week. The car's actually back on the ground, on its rear wheels anyway. Wheels stick out quite far actually. Can you imagine that this one's I pay someone to fit the wider arch, that will come out over here a bit more, and this will be cut away. Cage looks great, and yeah, I'm just mega happy with how much I've done. So what I'll try and do this week, let's have a look, is get the rear coilovers, these drilled out for the wider bolt. So this is the bolt I'm running on the rear beam, and it won't go through as I showed you earlier, so I'll get those sorted this week. I will try and find the other top hat for the front left coilover, get that fitted, which then will mean I could put the hubs, attach the hubs to the coilovers, and then put wheels on the front as well, which would be great. I will fit the fuel tank, and I'll fit the plastic clips, and I'll start making a look at refitting the steering column and possibly the brake caliper, the brake accelerator and clutch assembly. Probably fit the handbrake cable and possibly the fuel lines. So just going to do little bits here and there as much as I can. So hopefully towards the end of the week I'll have another video for you. But as I said, this has been the best day it feels like I've had in the last 18 months after starting the project, and it's looking so good. I think the contrast between the blue and white has worked well. I think once the seats are in and the steering wheel, as well as the rear calipers and the front calipers, the front Alcons, when I put them on, which I'll probably do this week as well, I'll put them on loosely for when I put the wheels on. It should tie the theme together nicely. And then hopefully within a week or two after that I will, just while we're here, I painted these brackets as well, which have come off there, so I need to figure out how they go back on and reassemble them. And then at that point I can possibly look at actually dropping the engine in, which is not something I thought I'd be saying so soon. So yeah, waffling a bit now, absolutely knackered, but so happy with how it's come out. Everything's looking great. A few little things to sort, but the painting went down really well. I'm really glad I decided to do it myself. I will prep the main body for when it goes to a professional to be painted. You'll see that this is half done here because I wanted to make sure the paint was up to this line, because when they mask it off to do the main body, I'll get them to paint this section here once the new wing's on, the roof, the two doors. I'll probably smooth this out and get them to paint that, and that'll be, and then obviously the wings, the bumper, the two bonnets and the boot lid. So still a lot to do, but it's beginning to look like a car again, and I feel like I've made so much progress. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry it's been so long without an update. Here's a little something for you. Look at the state of this wasp nest. They are livid. And on that note, I'll catch you at the end of the week with a new video. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.